One of the people that we've supported that's really stuck in my mind was somebody, it was quite a long time ago, but it was somebody who was being supported to, they'd gone through their asylum journey, they'd been granted refugee status, and we were supporting them in the next 6 months of their move on, so helping them. You know, when somebody gets refugee status, they then have to leave their accommodation within 28 days, and they have to apply for financial support. Everything that's been given to them and the financial support that they had from the government stops within 28 days, and it's a real crisis point for somebody. And things have to happen really quickly. So as soon as you get that letter, you need to be applying for housing, you need to be applying for benefits. Otherwise, you could find you will be destitute because those things just don't happen in the time that they're supposed to. And she was quite an old, elderly lady, and she came to see me, and you know, I was very kind of conscious of, right, we've got to fill in this form, we've got to do this, and she just wasn't responding to anything that I was asking her to do. And so I just kind of took a deep breath and just said, okay, what's going on? Like, you know, we do need to get these things in place, but what's stopping you? And she just broke down, and she said that this is the first time that she'd seen somebody who wasn't a Home Office official with an interpreter, and she had to tell somebody what had happened to her, and she had to tell her story about how she'd been tortured back home, how she'd made the journey here to the UK, and how she'd been placed in a house filled with other women, none of them who spoke the same language as her. She'd not been able to access a GP because she didn't speak the same language, and she hadn't been told where her nearest GP was, but she had really significant health issues that needed sorting out. And we spent about 2 hours talking about her story and about what she needed to happen. And it just really brought it home to me that we were the only people that could do that at that time. We were the people who were there, able to listen to her, able to talk to her about the things that were important to her. She wasn't just a number. She wasn't just somebody who was claiming asylum. She was a human being who had this huge story that, first of all, she needed to tell, and she needed help, and nobody else could help her. And so that first meeting, we kind of abandoned the things that we should have done because we knew that she was a human and she needed all of these health issues to be sorted out first. We had about a week between that first appointment and the second appointment. And in that week, we got some amazing volunteers who spoke the same language as she did, and to take her to the doctors, to get her really settled in, to just actually speak to her in the same language as she spoke. And the next appointment I saw her, it was a different person. You know, she'd gone to the GP had listened to her, they got an interpreter, she was having referrals to get all her health problems sorted out, and she came in and she said, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to start doing my housing and start doing my benefits. And I worked with her for 6 months. It was really difficult because she was probably one of the most incredibly resilient, brave women I've ever met, but she was completely lost here in the UK, completely lost. And she would have been lost if she hadn't have come to see us. And then I saw her about 2 years later. I was working on something else, and she came up to me and she just like grabbed me by the hand and she said hello, and I was like, oh hi, how are you, and she just went, I'm great, and she just did this, and I just thought, oh my god, this could have been so different if we weren't there. So that's one of the people that I always remember.